So hi everyone, my name is Yash and I am a third year student at MNIT Jaipur. So आज हमारे साथ है नील शाह, who is also a third year student at MNIT Jaipur and originally from Gujarat, and he recently secured an internship at RCSM, and he belongs to branch Artificial Intelligence Data Engineering, which is one of the newer branch in MNIT. And a lot of students have questions about this, so we are going to discuss about AIDE branch and his internship journey today. सो नील भाई, सबसे पहले अपनी जर्नी के बारे में बताओ.
Okay, so like before my 10th ended, उससे पहले ही I was into somewhat coding, so I was clear, like somewhat clear, I would not say fully clear, but I was somewhat clear about my future के software engineering या फिर development side पे ही कुछ coding related ही कुछ करना था. So of course उसके बाद engineering वगैरह PCM किया, JEE गया. JEE भी आई हैड अ वेरी गुड एक्सपीरियंस विद JEE. फर्स्ट टाइम में ही मेरा अच्छे से क्लियर हो गया. विथ 12th मैंने कंप्लीट कर ली थी. मेरी जी मेंस के अंदर 5000 अराउंड रैंक आ गई थी. सो अकॉर्डिंग टू द रैंक द बेस्ट कॉलेज जो मुझे मिल पा रही थी, बेस्ट कॉलेज आई वुड नॉट से, आई वुड से बेस्ट कॉलेज एंड ब्रांच कॉम्बो, so which I was able to get was MNIT Jaipur AIDE branch, and I found it quite pretty interesting, like pretty सही ले मेरे लिए. अच्छा है ये कि मैंने MNIT Jaipur AIDE मिल रहा था और वही चूज़ किया, and that's where I got into Jaipur. Then कोडिंग वगैरह विद द फ्लो गए, कॉलेज क्लासेस सब कुछ करा, उसके अलावा स्किल्स पे काम किया एंड DSA डेवलपमेंट सब कुछ एक्सप्लोर किया. एंड दैट्स वॉट माई जर्नी वॉज. दैन उसका मतलब फाइनल रिजल्ट तो दिख ही रहा है, RCSM इंटर्न हो गई है. सो बस दैट्स वॉट द प्रिटी जर्नी.
सो तुमने जब AIDE चूज़ किया तो बेसिकली अब MNIT में स्टार्ट भी नहीं हुई थी, तो तुमने कुछ रिसर्च वगैरह करी थी या फिर बस बेसिकली ऐसे ही मतलब रैंडमली चूज़ कर लिया और फिर यहाँ पे आ गया ऐसा?
सो लाइक बिफोर लाइक माई जोसा काउंसलिंग के अंदर अपना चॉइस फिलिंग से पहले आई वॉज लाइक मुझे मिल गया था एक ग्रुप, अपने MNIT के सीनियर्स चलाते हैं हर साल. तो उसके अंदर मैं पहले से ज्वाइन था. मैंने उस पर बहुत सारे क्वेश्चंस पूछे थे, बहुत सारी जानकारी लेने की ट्राई करी, बहुत सारे सीनियरों को पर्सनली मैसेज किया था मैंने कि बॉस बताओ क्या होता है, बहुत से फ़ोन पे बात करी एंड लाइक सब करते हैं ऑफ कोर्स. तो मैंने भी उस तरह से पूछा था, AIDE वाले सीनियर से बात करी, CSE वाले सीनियर से बात करी, बहुत पूछा कि बॉस ये क्यों है, ये क्या है, अब मुझे क्या लेना चाहिए. एंड व्हाट आई फाउंड वाज कि चूजिंग AIDE वाज नॉट समथिंग दैट आई वुड रिग्रेट. मतलब इन दैट जर्नी आई वॉज क्यूरियस अबाउट कि भाई मुझे जानना है पहले फिर ही मैं चूज़ करूँगा. सो उस क्यूरियोसिटी के अंदर मैंने बहुत कुछ पूछा, क्या है क्या नहीं, कैसा चल रहा है, क्या अलग है, कौन से सब्जेक्ट्स अलग है, सब कुछ मैंने पूछा. सो इन दैट जर्नी आई फाउंड आउट कि आई वुडंट रिग्रेट चूजिंग AIDE ओवर CSE. CSE वॉज समथिंग जो मैं बहुत ट्राई करता फिर भी मुझे नहीं मिल पाती. मतलब CSAB में शायद मिल जाती, बट आई वॉज इम्पेशेंट इनफ एट दैट पॉइंट. सो वही था कि CSAB तक मैं रुक नहीं रहा था, मेरा AI मुझे जोसा में भी मिल गया था. सो आई वॉज लाइक कि लेट्स गो विथ इट. एंड सही था, मुझे लगा कि यार AI चूज़ करना वॉज नॉट राइट नाउ एज वेल. आई एम थिंकिंग कि AI चूज़ करना वॉज समथिंग दैट आई वुड रिग्रेट. इट इज़ अ गुड ब्रांच ओवरऑल.
सो सिंपल लैंग्वेज में मतलब AIDE ब्रांच है क्या, और CSE से कैसे डिफरेंस, मतलब फंडामेंटल क्या ऐसा अलग है जो CS में नहीं है और AIDE में है?
फंडामेंटल डिफरेंस विच आई फील, मतलब ये पर्सनल ओपिनियन भी कह सकते हो थोड़ा बहुत, कि AI ब्रांच के अंदर दे आर मोर स्पेसिफिकली डीप डाइविंग इनटू AI. मैथमेटिक्स हो गया, मशीन लर्निंग कॉन्सेप्ट्स, न्यूरल नेटवर्क्स. that is the thing, like at present as well we have subjects like image processing, so like they are deep diving into AI concepts clearly. And in like on the other side, on the CS side, there they are not deep diving into something this deep, which I feel कि AI वो भी पढ़ते हैं but not the level of depth. Like the level of depth they learn various things. They learn some depth about cyber security, they learn some depth about other fields, software engineering field, they learn some depth about AI as well, but they do not go to the full depth as we in, like we go in the AI curriculum, they go full depth of the AI. In the curriculum itself they go good depth, I won't say full depth but a good depth. So like अभी इमेज प्रोसेसिंग है, बिग डेटा एनालिसिस है, हाई परफॉर्मेंस कंप्यूटिंग है, उस टाइप के सब्जेक्ट्स भी है जो कि करिकुलम में इंक्लूडेड है. सो दैट्स व्हाट इज़ अ प्लस पॉइंट एज वेल. And this is a personal thing, like it might be a negative point as well, because it might be possible you are not much interested into AI. Some people are interested into blockchain, some people are interested in cyber security. So it might be a plus point or a minus point depending upon your personal opinions, personal choices.
बेसिकली कुछ सब्जेक्ट्स ऐसे होते हैं जो इनिशियली लगता है कि बहुत ज़्यादा टफ होता है, फिर बाद में जाके रियलाइज़ होता है कि ये एक्चुअली मतलब बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है और उतने भी टफ नहीं जितना हम सोच रहे थे. तो ऐसे कोई सब्जेक्ट्स वगैरह?
यार थिंग इज़ कि कोई भी सब्जेक्ट हो, लाइक जब तुम स्टार्टिंग में देखोगे तो वो टफ ही लगेगा. एवरी सब्जेक्ट, आई वुड नॉट से कि स्पेसिफिकली लाइक इवन इफ़ यू डू DSA, मैंने DSA किया, कोर सब्जेक्ट्स पढ़े, सभी सब्जेक्ट्स में ये होता है. इन द स्टार्टिंग लाइक इट इज़ अ 3 स्टेप प्रोसेस. हमेशा कोई भी सब्जेक्ट पढ़ना हो तो पहले इन द स्टार्टिंग व्हेन यू आर ऑन द बेसिक पार्ट यू विल फील इट इज़ ईजी. देन यू गो टू द कोर डेप्थ, लाइक स्लाइटली इन द कोर डेप्थ, देन यू फील इट्स टफ. And when you go through the whole core depth, once you go through the whole core depth, all the concepts, you will feel like यार ये आसान ही है, बस ब्रश अप करना बार बार ज़रूरी है. सो नो सब्जेक्ट आई वुड से कि यार ये बहुत हार्ड है या बहुत ईजी है. इट जस्ट कि तुम कितनी बार पढ़ रहे हो उस पर डिपेंड करता है, कितने अच्छे से पढ़ रहे हो उस पर डिपेंड करता है, और किस तरह से पढ़ रहे हो उस पर डिपेंड करता है. इट द वे यू लर्न. मान ले भाई जैसे कुछ सब्जेक्ट्स होते हैं DSA सब्जेक्ट, तुम थ्योरी कितनी भी बार पढ़ लो उसमें कुछ नहीं होने वाला. सो वो वाली चीज़, अब मैं थ्योरी ही पढ़ता रहूँ और बोलूँ कि ये तो बहुत हार्ड सब्जेक्ट है, तो ये वो वाली बात है कि भाई मैं कुछ कर ही नहीं रहा. मैथ्स के सवाल के अंदर मैं थ्योरी पढ़ के जा रहा हूँ, कैसे होगा? यू नीड टू लर्न द सब्जेक्ट इन अ वे द सब्जेक्ट इज़ इंटेंडेड टू लर्न. दैट्स ऑल इट इज़.
और जो सब्जेक्ट्स पढ़ाए जाते हैं कॉलेज के अंदर स्पेसिफिकली, उनका इंटर्नशिप में कितना रोल होता है?
सी कॉलेज के अंदर अगर मैं बात करूं, DSA पढ़ाया जाता है. AI ब्रांच, CS ब्रांच, दोनों की बात कर रहा हूं मैं अभी. दोनों के अंदर DSA पढ़ाया जाता है. कोर CS फंडामेंटल में ऑपरेटिंग सिस्टम्स, डेटाबेस मैनेजमेंट सिस्टम्स, ऑब्जेक्ट ओरिएंटेड प्रोग्रामिंग कॉन्सेप्ट्स, देन लाइक ये 3 सब्जेक्ट्स है प्लस DSA है. ये 4 सब्जेक्ट्स आर दो सब्जेक्ट. कंप्यूटर नेटवर्क ऑल्सो 5th सब्जेक्ट. तो ये 5 सब्जेक्ट ऐसे जो करिकुलम में पढ़ाए जाते हैं. एंड दीज आर रियली द मोस्ट इम्पॉर्टेंट थिंग, लाइक द कोर. इसके बिना कुछ नहीं हो सकता. ये वाली चीज़ है ये कि अगर DSA और ये बेसिक्स में से मुझे कुछ नहीं आता है, इट इज़ लाइक कि मैं इंटर्नशिप के लिए प्रिपेयर ही नहीं हूँ. एटलीस्ट लाइक आउट ऑफ 5 यू मस्ट नो अराउंड 4 सब्जेक्ट्स. That's when you can say okay I am prepared. And 4 subjects also to the depth के interviewer कोई भी question पूछे you are ready without any tension. That's what internship preparation is कि भाई तुम at least 4 subjects तक तुम्हारा clear हो, एक DSA and other 3 subjects of core subjects.
और जो कॉलेज के सब्जेक्ट्स होते हैं वो सफिशिएंट है इंटर्नशिप के लिए, या फिर मतलब बाहर से भी तुम्हें कुछ पढ़ना पड़ेगा, मटेरियल रेफर करना पड़ेगा?
सी कॉलेज के अंदर मैंने बताया जो जितना पढ़ाया जाता है, इट इज़ लाइक यू कैन से द बेस ग्राउंड. जैसे कोई भी चीज़ स्टार्ट करने से पहले एक फाउंडेशन बेस बनाना पड़ता है, वैसे ही DSA एंड द कोर CS फंडामेंटल्स दैट इज़ द बेस ग्राउंड कि जिससे तुम्हें कंपनी एलिजिबल मानती है. दिस इज़ द बेस ग्राउंड. यू नीड टू नो दिस मच, ये वाली बात है. बट दिस इज़ नॉट द एंड ऑफ द वर्ल्ड. इसके अलावा यू हैव टू एक्सप्लोर सम ऑप्शन. आई वुड नॉट से बहुत सारी कुछ चीज़ें, बट यू हैव टू एक्सप्लोर समथिंग. यू नीड टू हैव सम प्रोजेक्ट्स के लिए तुम कुछ एक्सप्लोर करोगे. मे बी लेट्स से मैंने OS के रिलेटेड ही कुछ प्रोजेक्ट बनाया है, बट वो प्रोजेक्ट बनाने के लिए मुझे एक लैंग्वेज चाहिए, एक फ्रेमवर्क चाहिए, वो सब मुझे सीखना पड़ेगा. तो यू नीड टू एक्सप्लोर आउट ऑफ द बॉक्स. इट इज़ नॉट कि तुम सिर्फ करिकुलम का पढ़ के जाओगे तो हो जाएगा. इट इज़ द बेस ग्राउंड, इट इज़ द फाउंडेशन. उतना आना चाहिए. उसके ऊपर यू नीड टू वर्क ऑन समथिंग, यू नीड टू हैव समथिंग विच डिफरेंशिएट्स यू फ्रॉम दी अदर्स. इंटरव्यूअर तुम्हें क्यों चूज़ करे, क्योंकि वो तो सबको पढ़ाया है.
सही बात है.
तो वो वाली चीज़ है कि यू नीड टू फाइंड समथिंग दैट इज़ लाइक योर स्ट्रेंथ.
सो CGPA का कितना रोल होता है बेसिकली जो भी इंटर्नशिप और प्लेसमेंट्स के टाइम?
सी CGPA इफ़ यू हैव 7.5 प्लस CGPA, लाइक इन CSE branch है, एंड 7.5 प्लस CGPA है, At MNIT, I would say most of the companies, in campus companies, would allow. But I would, for me, like safe score which I would say कि safe कितना होना चाहिए, you need to maintain 8 CGPA at least, because ज़रूरी नहीं है कि you only apply to in campus opportunities. You might apply to off campus. Possible है कि off campus में और better opportunities मिले, पॉसिबल होता है, हर कॉलेज के लिए होता है, इन कैंपस कंपनीज आती है, बट देर इज़ अ पॉसिबिलिटी कि ऑफ कैंपस भी अच्छी अपॉर्चुनिटीज़ मिले. देर माइट बी अ लक फैक्टर कि इन कैंपस में नहीं लग पाया, माइट बी, आई एम नॉट सेइंग बहुत बड़ा फैक्टर है वो, इट माइट बी है. सो एट दैट पॉइंट आई वुड से वो फर्स्ट चीज़ ये है इंटर्नशिप और प्लेसमेंट के रिलेटेड अगर मैं बात करूँ तो. सेकेंड थिंग, CGPA इज़ अ काइंड ऑफ अ थिंग इफ़ यू आर ऑल्सो एमिंग फॉर हायर स्टडीज़, इट इज़ एन इम्पॉर्टेंट फैक्टर. On third thing, it shows your credibility academically. Various scholarships expect you to have a good CGPA. So CGPA is something that I would say it's important to maintain. मैं ये मतलब कहीं जगह मिल जाएगा कि CGPA तो इतना important नहीं होता, मेन स्किल्स होता है, but CGPA is very important I would say.
So अब मेन टॉपिक पता है जिसके लिए ज़्यादातर लोग वीडियोस देख रहे होंगे, बेसिकली इंटर्नशिप कैसे क्रैक किया मतलब आपने, और क्या प्रोसेस कैसे होता है मतलब, और बाकी सिलेक्शन प्रोसेस उनका कैसा होता है.
ओके, सो ऑफ कोर्स पहले तो यार प्रिपरेशन की बात है. प्रिपरेशन में जैसे मैंने कहा CS फंडामेंटल्स पढ़ने पड़ते हैं, OS, DBMS, ऊप्स, कंप्यूटर नेटवर्क्स, और साथ में डेटा स्ट्रक्चर एल्गोरिथम्स चाहिए. दिस इज़ लाइक द बेस ग्राउंड इतना हो. उसके ऊपर पर्सनली मैंने बैकएंड सीखी थी, जावास्क्रिप्ट में बैकएंड करता हूँ मैं. सो बैकएंड डेवलपमेंट मैंने बहुत अच्छे से सीख रखी है. सो दैट वाज लाइक द पॉइंट दैट आई एक्सप्लोर्ड ऑन माय ओन. उसके अलावा आई ऑल्सो एक्सप्लोर्ड रैग इज़ समथिंग विच इज़ राइट नाउ वेरी लाइक इंटरेस्टिंग टॉपिक राइट नाउ. सो दैट वाज द थिंग जो मैंने लाइक आउट ऑफ द बॉक्स एक्सप्लोर करी थी, ये 2 चीज़ें. एंड दिस वॉज लाइक द प्रिपरेशन काइंड. बहुत सारी जगह से मैंने बहुत सारे रिसोर्सेज वगैरह यूज़ करके अपनी स्ट्रेंथ बनाई थी इस पर. रैग वॉज लाइक आई वुड से लाइक इन रैग एंड बैक एंड, रैग वॉज द थिंग जो मुझे सारे कैंडिडेट्स में डिफ्रेंशिएट करता था, बिकॉज दैट वॉज द थिंग दैट इज़ स्टिल a hot topic, and I would say various people do not go in depth of it. Like they know but they do not go in depth. I have gone to a really great depth. I have gone like without using LangChain as well. I have gone to like that depth. So that was like my hot topic, my topic, that if anybody asked me questions about that, I was like the best person to answer it. And that was like my hot topic that I want the interviewer to focus on. Like like before the interviews there is a OA. Like if I talk about now the process of internship, there is a OA. You have to first submit your resume, then there is a test in which they ask you questions about these basic concepts which I said: OS, DBMS, computer networks, DSA, operating systems. These all concepts they ask questions, some MCQs, some coding questions, anything they can ask depending upon company to company. If I talk about RCCM, they asked only coding questions. They asked coding questions and some MCQs. MCQs were mainly in 2 sections. First was the aptitude section, which generally focused on basic like quantitative aptitude, verbal abilities, logical reasoning, pattern catching, those kind of questions. The second set was around the technicalities, the operating system concepts, the object oriented programming concepts, the database management systems. MCQs, good MCQs I would say. They were really good MCQs. There were around 30 MCQs, 15 in the aptitude part and 15 in the technical part. And after that there were 2 coding questions. So this was like the OA of RCCM I would say. But overall, the like company to company it depends. I am not saying every company uses the same pattern. This is just a pattern that RCCM used in our college. It might be different in your college. So first thing first, like this is the OA pattern. You have to attempt the OA. After OA you get shortlisted for interviews depending upon how much you scored in OA. Then there are, in RCCM there were 3 rounds of interview. So in like 3 technical rounds and 1 HR round. There were like complete 4 rounds. So round one, of course, in all the three technical rounds, I would say they asked mainly OS, DBMS, and DSA. Main struck like the basics remain the same, but the level get like changed in the first round. I would say OS, DBMS, it was very basic level. I would like, for me it was basic level, might be like depending upon your preparation, it depends. For me it was like quite a basic things, very good. I gave good answers to that. There is like, then we got into DSA one question they asked about DSA implementations, so hash map implementation they asked actually. So that kind of question. Then actual DSA question they asked. So first round was around 30 to 40 minutes, I would say, interview round. Basics, I would say, complete round was around the level that if you had studied good, you can like answer each and every question. There are no question that you would say, okay, this was a hard one. For me, it was very good. I answered like 99% questions. So it was really good round. I get out and I was like, okay, this is very good. I am highly sure that I would be selected for round two. So that was round one. Then round two took around an hour. So 1 hour of round two. Again, same pattern. Started with the core subjects first. Some operating system concepts, some database management system. Like this time they go to a little more depth than the round one. Same thing with the DSA question. They asked one DSA questions, two varieties of the same DSA questions, and same thing. First variety easy, second variety a little tough, and then they come to SQL queries. SQL queries are thing that many companies ask today, many banks ask today. So it is one of the things that you should have a good command on. So that was one thing that I was asked in the round two. And it like total round two duration was 1 hour exact. I would say 1 hour 5 minutes 6 minutes it took, and it was a really good round. I would say it took a little more depth than the round one, but was still a round you can easily crack if you had a good knowledge about the concepts, good foundational knowledge. You need to know about, like if I say some SQL queries, you need to know, for example, with clause, you need to know what is with clause, what is the depth of it, what is CTE. You need to know those kind of things that are like the foundational part. So something you need to know about foundation, then it would be I would say easy to moderate round. Third round, I would say a little more tough, but still on the medium level for me. Again, same thing, OS, DBMS, but this time a very good depth. They go to like deadlocks, avoidance and all that. So OS, DBMS, great depth they asked about. Then DSA questions, same, they asked two DSA questions, one on graphs, one on DP. So also good questions, I would say. Then some puzzles also they asked me, some projects related questions, some system design, basics of system design questions which you might learn in DBMS as well. So some basic that kind of questions they asked. Project is something you need to know in and out everything, so that was the main thing they were trying to test. And that around like the third round took around 1 hour 20 minutes, 1 hour 25 minutes, but it was a good round. I would say decent round. It took like, it was at like a good depth round. They took the concepts to a depth that like now they are on the screening part, like complete high power screening part. And the third round, 3 people gave the third round, and after that then there was the HR round. HR round was quite like a light round, I would say. They in the HR round they mainly test your thinking process, thought processes. They ask about questions which do not have answers. They ask guesstimation answers. You have to just guess, you have to just give an estimate, and they actually test what's your thought process to come to that estimate. So that round was a little light round, I would say. It took around half an hour, and fourth round was completely light. Like the 4 rounds, this was the thing. the main part in any of this part, like any of this process is, I would say, basic foundational knowledge, CS, core fundamentals, OS, DBMS is the thing that you need to know good level, DSA good level. That was the, like, I would say the main thing that got me into RCCM is these parts.
सो अगर कोई सेकेंड ईयर का कोई स्टूडेंट है, वो अभी इंटर्नशिप की प्रिपरेशन स्टार्ट कर रहा है, सबसे पहले उसे क्या करना चाहिए बेसिकली?
Again, same question, same answer. First thing first, data structures algorithms, very important. OA ही नहीं निकलेगा उसके बिना. First and foremost thing is DSA. वो तो बहुत अच्छे से सीखना होगा. Like if he is starting right now his internship preparation, first things first, go to any channel, YouTube channel, whichever he finds great, whichever is in his comfort zone, like the teaching method is in his comfort zone. Start learning. First thing, like, go, like, drill. Simple, like, single word thing is drill on DSA. You need to know it in and out, every data structure, every algorithm, every thought process behind the algorithm. He needs to know it, because that's what they asked. In the first round, I was not asked some very, very hi-fi question. I was asked implementation of hash map. So how hash map actually is implemented, that was the thing I was actually asked as data structure. The second part that I was asked was to implement how RAM, like a basic, they give me a rule book, basic rule book, and said implement this kind of RAM. So the main thing they focus on in the first round was the basic in the understanding, in-depth understanding, that do you know hash map do these things, but do you know how exactly hash map works behind the scenes? You just use hash map is not something they want. Okay, you know how to use hash map. That's not something they want to see in you. They want to see, okay, you know hash map, how does it work? You know linked list, how does linked list work? How does doubly linked list work? How does a queue work? How queue is different from doubly linked list? How queue is different from linked list? That are the core concepts that they ask. Why should, like, for example, I would say in my first round only I was asked a question, why someone would choose linked list over a array. Now these are questions which involve understanding about time complexity, which involve understanding about random access. These are the things they focus on mainly in the first round. They do not, like, from the first they do not want, okay, you know graph, you know DP. Okay, some companies ask that as well, but it is not the end of the world. The first important part is you need to know the foundation part. You need to know how actually things work behind the scenes. That's what they majorly focus. They need to know that you know how the things work. They don't want to understand that, okay, you know how to write code. That is, like, today ChatGPT even knows how to write code. The main part is, do you know how these things work behind the scenes?
तो अगर तुम्हें CSE और AIDE में से सेम कॉलेज में अगर एक ब्रांच चूज़ करनी है, तो आज क्या चूज़ करोगे बेसिकली? आज अगर कोई बंदा आज जोसा के लिए बैठ रहा है तो
I would say it is not a point to debate actually. Like, मतलब, choose whichever you find interesting according to your choice. Pros and cons मैंने बता दिए कि shallow level everything and in depth of one. That is the main part I would say. So वही चीज़ है कि यार, it depends completely on you, completely on your score. Of course तुम्हारा स्कोर ही नहीं है कि तुम्हें CS मिल पाए तो AI ही लेना पड़ेगा. So it depends on various things, but I would say there is nothing much I would say to debate on. You can select both. Just if you have both options, do it on your, like, own, according to your personal choice, I would say.
और अपॉर्चुनिटी दोनों में से किस में ज़्यादा होती है?
See, at this moment I would say CSAI both have equal opportunities. मतलब, any company that comes for CS comes for AI. That's what, like, single line answer.
और अगर एआई के बूम की बात करें तो बेसिकली लोग अभी बोल रहे हैं कि जो एआई सॉफ्टवेयर इंजीनियर्स की जॉब्स खतरे में है, या फिर जितना भी मार्केट में डर फैला हुआ है, तो मतलब उस पर क्या ओपिनियन है?
यार सी, दिस इज़ अ पर्सनल ओपिनियन क्वेश्चन, सो आई विल ओनली गिव माई पर्सनल ओपिनियन. So the thing is, when internet came, there was a revolution. Similarly, when AI is coming, there should be a revolution. And every revolution has some good points, some bad points. I would say, which we are saying that junior dev jobs are going extinct. That's something that would happen, but of course the job are not going because like job are decreasing. These jobs are going because these jobs are being replaced by some other job, which is some AI engineer job, some RAG engineer job, some prompt engineer job, some AI ML engineer job. Like this is just a change, I would say. And still I would say that junior dev job is not completely over. Still, for any AI system we need a moderator. Sometimes we think that okay, only senior devs will be moderating, but today I would say that's not case at the moment. At the present, this is not the case. Maybe in future it might get into the case, but still I would say software engineering is something that would persist. There is no right now, according to the things that are happening right now, I would say there is no solution to hallucinations at this moment. I would say there might be good advancements, there might be possibility that my today's statement would be wrong in future, but at this moment I would say there are hallucinations. They need people to maintain, they need people to debug the codes, they need people to clean the AI code as well. AI gives, like today I would say, even the anti-gravity and all stuff, they like cursor, anti-gravity, they give really messy codes. So we need people to clean codes as well. So junior dev is, I would say, going nowhere.
सो जैसे कोई बिगनर है, उसको अभी कोडिंग लैंग्वेज स्टार्ट करनी है, तो कौन सी कोडिंग लैंग्वेज से स्टार्ट करें? C++, जावा, पाइथन? जनरली यही क्वेश्चन होता है सबका.
स्टार्ट करो, यही एक आंसर है इसमें. कोई से भी स्टार्ट करो. सी, अगर यू आर लाइक कि भाई मुझे थोड़ा रिसर्च करके स्टार्ट करना है, रिसर्च में टाइम वेस्ट मत करो, बट इतना कर सकते हो अगर तुम्हें बहुत ज़्यादा है कि नहीं मुझे तो कुछ भी करके ही चालू करना है, कुछ पहले से देख के, तो जस्ट अंडरस्टैंड कि यार तुम्हें आगे किस फील्ड में, लाइक आई सेड, वन थिंग यू नीड टू आउटशाइन, मे बी बैक एंड, मे बी सम रैग, यू नीड वन थिंग टू आउटशाइन. जस्ट ट्राई टू फिगर आउट, ट्राई, आई वुड नॉट से तुम पहले से क्लियर हो गए, बट ट्राई टू फिगर आउट विच वन थिंग दैट माइट बी, and according to that choose a language. If you are like let's say you need to go for, let's say, RAG and all stuff, then you might think okay, I should go with Python, might think, I would say, but still I would not suggest to go with Python. For DSA I would suggest to go with C++ or Java, whichever you find the best. I would say just don't skim into much of the things, start with anyone. I would say any of the language you use will not make any difference today, because the main part of DSA is not any language. The core understanding of DSA is logic, problem solving ability. So if you know how to solve a problem, you just need to know syntax. Syntax is just like 2-hour game.
सो DSA स्टार्ट कब करना चाहिए?
जब भी कर सकते हो. Start in first semester, start in second semester. I would say at least start in your summer break of first year. After first year you get a summer break, at least start in that summer break. That is like, if you are aiming for internships and placements, that is like the threshold point, I would say. After that you are losing, simple point, because all the others would score and you would not be able to score, because it takes time to build logic, it takes time to build the problem solving ability. I'm not saying that it is not possible, but I would say we would all of us would like to go with the safe threshold. So I would say the summer vacation of first year is the safe threshold, I would say. If some people might even start after that and would get a good internship, but those are rare cases, I would say.
सो लीड कोड और कोड फोर्सेस में बिगनर को सबसे पहले क्या स्टार्ट करना चाहिए?
Start with lead code. There is like no question to it. Start with lead code. Basic understanding. Start with lead code. Get a good like strength over your concepts. Then move to code forces. Simple.
और डीएसए के साथ डेवलपमेंट कब स्टार्ट करें? मतलब डेवलपमेंट स्टार्ट करने का भी टाइम फ्रेम होगा ना कि डीएसए कर लिया फिर डेवलपमेंट ऐसा?
See, there is no end to DSA, I would say. DSA is problem solving. Problems can be endless. So there is like any day no person would say that I have completed DSA. It is a wrongful statement, I would say. Beginners do say, even people like us have said those things, okay मेरा DSA हो गया. But DSA never completes. DSA is something that is actually problem solving. Even the people who work in companies, they also keep skimming DSA. So DSA never completes. So I would not say कि okay DSA हो गया अब करूँगा. Development is something like the other skill, I would say. The second skill that I was talking about, the differentiator. So I would say you can start to explore things. There are multiple things. There are multiple paths. People go with AI, generative AI. People go with agentic AI. People go with backend development. People go with blockchain development. People go with cyber security. People go with different parts. So there are multiple things, multiple paths. Start to explore some paths. Do not try to explore every path. First, understand what the path is about. Find out like 2, 3, 4 paths which you think that are interesting according to your conscience, and explore those paths for about some time. In the first year, this is the time, like first year is the time you can explore, you can ping pong on the things. So I would say try, explore it, give some time, try to understand your feelings about those subjects. And when you feel that this is something which I think is my forte, go to the depth. And this all happens alongside DSA. So DSA never ends. You do things alongside DSA.
और रेज्यूमे में प्रोजेक्ट्स कैसे होने चाहिए और कितने होने चाहिए?
So according to me, like my personal opinion is, and which I think like according the number of interviews I have given, I feel like even the recruiters actually ask for at least like 2 projects in the resume. At least 2 projects. You can have more, like 2 to 3 is I would say the maximum. You cannot add more than 3 in a resume. You can have it, but you cannot add it on the resume. So 3 is the maximum limit I would say, and 2 is like the minimum thing you need to have a good full page resume. And again, which type of is depending upon the path you choose. I have chosen 2, as I said, I have chosen 2 things, RAG and backend. So my one project was on RAG, one project was on backend. This was a simple, and the main thing that you do in project, like the main thing that recruiters ask for in a project is, first thing, what you have implemented, do you know it end to end, in and out? Do you know everything that you have like made? If you have made something, you need to know it, okay, that I have implemented this part. If you are working in a team, collaborative project, you need to specifically mention that this is the exact part. You have to draw clear boundary that okay, if I have a collaborative project, okay, the backend is the part that I worked on. Front end and AI ML part is something that my teammates worked on. You need to have a clear boundary on that. And in the boundary you specify, let's say I specified that okay, in a collaborative project I have worked on backend. The backend part is something that then I need to know in and out everything. If he asks any question about the backend, I should have the answer. There is no I might have the answer, I may have the answer. I should have the answer. That's one thing they actually expect. And the second thing they expect is you do not have any clone projects. If you have a clone project, there should be at least one thing that you have added of your own, that you have added of your innovation. Like copying copying a existing thing is something they do not really appreciate much. But if you add one feature of yours, something, anything, like whichever you think that okay, this is the problem, I can solve this, anything, any one feature, any two feature, whichever you feel, if you add that, then it is a project good for resume.
So mostly we have discussed about like technical part of your journey. So what about soft skills? How much they are important in your journey?
Soft skills, I would say, equally important. It is not that okay, someone is very good in tech but does not know how to speak, does not know how to explain, can get a job. There is no possibility, I would say. Because in an interview, maybe he would pass an OA very easily because he know tech skills, so he would pass an OA very easily. But in an interview, the part is you have to explain to an interviewer. You might say okay, the main part in an interview is the interviewer expects you to explain things like you are explaining it to a first timer. He wants to know the depth you know. So that's what an interviewer expects from you. And if you do not have a good soft skill, and what I include in a soft skill, firstly I would say that, so first, your behavior, let's say if I am going to an interview, how I behave, how is my etiquettes, how I, like, if I go in an interview, let's say to meet, let's say a panel of 3, then as soon as I go inside, like, do I say may I come in, do I knock up, do I go inside and just sit down, or do I wait for them to say okay, sit down, do I say a good morning, good evening, good afternoon? These are the things, like the basic etiquettes that somebody must know. This is like the basic respect you give to someone who's of seniority. So first thing that. Second thing, your body language. Are you just like someone who does not know how to like give hand actions? Do you like do you know or do you not about how to behave in an interview? Like your body language speaks a lot sometimes. So these are the things. Third thing, let's say your confidence. You need to have a good confidence when you are saying anything. And confidence comes in two ways. First is on your speaking skills, and second is on your technical skills. You need to have a good foundation on technical. If you have a good foundation on technical, you are good to go with the confidence on the technical side. But you need to also have a confidence on your speaking skills as well. You need to have a good communication skill, good English skills. Like you need to speak it, I would say, good enough to explain your things.
Yeah.
It might be possible you get confused sometimes. Having a confusion in speaking English is not a problem. Having a confusion in the concept is a problem.
Yeah.
That's it.
So when you entered the college, so basically जब हम लोग आते हैं तो हमें आइडिया भी नहीं होता कि मतलब सॉफ्ट स्किल्स इन सबका होता है. स्कूल टाइम में मे बी वी डोंट हैव दैट मच आइडिया अबाउट सॉफ्ट स्किल्स. सो वर यू इनफ कॉन्फिडेंट अबाउट योर सॉफ्ट स्किल्स ड्यूरिंग योर school life, or you have developed those skills when you entered the college during your journey till third year?
I would say it was actually a mix I would say, because during my school I do not have like the English speaking, like I was from an English medium school, but of course we know in India we do not speak English in English medium school. So like I was not fluent in English. I know good English, I can speak English, but I was not fluent in English. I would not say I am fluent in English, but I am quite a good speaker right now. Yeah. So that's what changed during the college period. I learned how to fluently speak English, how to gain confidence over English speaking, how to understand the recruiter mindset, how to like interview manners, which I already said. These are the things that I learned after coming. But things like body language, things like etiquettes. These are something that I actually know from the schooling as well. I was from a city. I had some like basic exposure, I would say.
सो बेसिकली मतलब अभी कोई बंदा स्टार्ट कर रहा है अपनी जर्नी कोडिंग या फिर लेट्स से टेक प्लेसमेंट्स के लिए, तो उसको क्या गाइड करना चाहोगे कि मतलब ऐसी कौन सी गलती है जो उसे नहीं करनी चाहिए?
गलती, हाँ, फर्स्ट concepts, DSA concepts. Whenever you start a DSA concept, try to understand it thoroughly. Like I have seen people who just understand the implementation part and left and skip it. Okay, I know the implementation, I can solve the question, just go to the next one. That's not the whole point. Even if you see a solution, try to understand why of the questions. Try to understand why of every line, why I use a for loop here, why I use a recursion here, why I cannot use some other method. Try to be curious, first point. Second mistake, I would say, do not try to mug up any code, any question. Okay, I cannot understand, just I would mug up. No. If you don't understand, do it 3 times, do it 5 times, do it 7 times. Try to understand, see, maybe you cannot understand still, see any video who explains. Try to understand, never mug up any answer, because you can mug up for around 10 days, around 1 month, but DSA is something which will be with you lifelong if you are choosing a career in software engineering. So never mug up. Third, I would say, whenever doing a CS core fundamental, try to go to the, again, same question, curious. Curiosity is something that is very, very important in computer science. If you are curious, you can learn anything. Like even if you are going to an interview, you might know, let's say core CS fundamental, you only know the 2, OS and DBMS. You don't know the other 2. But if you know OS and DBMS to a good level, like very good level, there is a chance you get selected. There are people getting selected. So it is just about curiosity. How much curiosity do you have? Because any resource you follow, they would give you the basic answers, basic question, like basic answer to the questions, whichever you can have. But the curiosity is the part where you search, okay, what if I do this? For example, if you say about object oriented, what if I take static in some X place, in some Y place? What happens? These are curiosity questions. You should ask curiosity questions yourself. Ask yourself, find answer yourself, use ChatGPT, write code yourself, do anything. Try to find an answer, and that's what will take you ahead of everybody else. Curiosity is the first thing you need to have. Another mistake that I would say the people make is people think that curriculum is everything, but that's not. Again, same thing, you need to have a distinguisher. Curriculum is something that would get you to the baseline. Go ahead of it. If you get to the baseline, you are like, if you like, simple, I would say, like I have a quote about it, that if you prepare average, you be average. That's what it is. If you prepare just a curriculum, you are average. So that's it.
So Neil bhai, thank you so much for your time. It was nice to meeting you.
Nice meeting you too, bhai.